Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still in the process of building up the necessary industry that we need. We're building a bit of government admin in Beira just to make sure that we've got enough, enough government admin there. To make sure that we've got the taxation capacity that we need. I'm also going to build up a couple of more levels of universities. Just to get us over that line, basically. Let's see. We'll go to 8. We'll go to level 8 in both Alentejo and Beira. Now, obviously, we're pretty fine on qualifications, but what that'll do is that'll put us over our innovation limit. Or I'm hoping that'll put us over there. Let me see. It's 3 for each... Let me do the math here. Ha! Got it. So that'll put us up to 33 for each. Or no, not quite there. It's going to put us up to... like 20... like 25. So 25 plus 25 plus 33 is going to... It's actually not going to quite get us there. Because plus 50 for the baseline. 25 plus 25 plus 33. So that's going to get us almost to our literacy. Because we got the base value on both sides. 25 plus 25 plus 33 is 83. And that's close to our literacy cap. I know. You didn't sign up for the Gen Cat Math Hour, but it's what it is. This game involves a lot of math. I've got to do a lot of math to become good at it. So... let me see, I've got a little bit of infamy to play with. I could do some reductions in subject autonomy through infamy. I could turn Bulangan into a... Let's see if I can turn Bulangan into a puppet. I think the ideal one would be Burma. What's it going to take to turn you into a puppet? You're not going to say yes. What about Bulangan? I can't. Why can't I? Alright. USA is damaging relations again. That's fine. Do we have a truce? We have a truce. Oh, I just did that last episode. I'm so smart. So good at stuff. Oh, best YouTuber. I'm so good at YouTube. What about Oman? Been a minute, Oman. You don't want to be free, do you? 38%. Again, don't want to fight about it. Don't want to bet on a fight about it at this time. Oh my gosh, France is actually winning against Spain. That's incredible. I should have sided with the French. Oh, and Spain just pieced out. Nice. Alright, so... oh no, that's the whole war. Oh, that's incredible. But they didn't take Navarra, which is curious. Very curious. Comprehensible, but a little odd. So where are we in terms of our institutions? We're getting up there towards level 4. Got another 70 weeks to finish building up the government admin that we're going to need to get up to the final level here. I think a few more... I think these 3 levels of government bureaucracy are going to provide enough. Ooh. Oh no. Maguindanau's attitude got worse. Not better. Hey, there's identification documents. Alright, so... we don't have the necessary bureaucracy. But yeah, we're definitely going to get there through the current expansion. This number is actually pretty high. That's interesting. I'm going to increase colonialism for a moment. I think we have enough to get there. We got another Hell on Earth event. I'm going to launch an inquiry. This one in Zambezia. Again, I'm always launching inquiries. France, our attitude's rock solid. I'm going to improve relations a little more, though, because I want this to be better. Oh, France is pretty freaking infamous right now. So that's interesting. I know that the French Commune always starts with a certain degree of infamy, but I didn't think it was going to be this much. Hey, does this mean I can steal Dahomey? No, because you have a defensive pact with them. Okay. Right, because they actually won the struggle. What about Benin? You have a defensive pact with Spain. I could maybe fight Spain if I had British help. Decisions. If I steal Benin, Spain and Oyo will side against me. Great Britain, I will be able to pull in through my alliance, but what's that going to change? Sokoto is probably going to align against me. Dahomey may as well, which wouldn't necessarily be bad. I should have done this while Spain was fighting its war with France. I'm going to wait a little longer because my my interest line item is not gone yet. This additional expenses is going to go away eventually because this is the concert. Alright, yeah, we're good. We're good to go. Good to go with a lot of things. So, getting these steel mills built is also going to reduce the cost of steel, which in turn is going to make all of the stuff we need to do easier in terms of construction. So, from this point, I think we've got a lot of coal outputs. We've got a trade route of coal coming in. Here's the thing. I think it's time to start getting automation methods running in my core, in the Imperial core. So I'm going to start with rail transport for all of our plantations. I can go to barbed wire fences for the livestock ranches. Wheat farms. Let's go to steam-powered threshing machines. Might be fertilizers. That's actually going to increase the profitability a lot. Okay. And I'm just going to quickly do this for all of my my industries here, and let's see how that goes. Fishing wharves can't do that yet. Let's go ahead and upgrade to steam trawlers. Estremadura will do the same. And then for our plantations, we will do the same. Ooh, floating harbor, nice. Extra port max levels. Not that big of a deal, but nice. And then for Alentejo, we will do just the same. Oil in Guyana. Pretty cool. Oh, we got an event. A gold rush. A rubber rush. Sorry, not a rubber rush. That's the other one. This is a black gold rush, but it's still a gold rush. Gold has been discovered in Portuguese Guyana. People from all corners of the earth are converging there, confident that they'll be the next to discover, that they will discover the next great lode and become incredibly rich. It was a single misplaced foot in the river. His son quick at his side, hoisting him from the water before the currents claimed him. Then, as the sediment rose with both his leg and his walking stick, they saw it. The unmistakable shimmer of Plutus's very blood. By the next morning, they were both at the river with sieves and shovels, and by the night, the whole town had joined them. It's mine, all mine. Give me that minting. Alright, and then around here, we're going to do the same. We got a bunch of changes to make, and I'm going to take a look at what this does to local prices once I've done it. I should probably also upgrade some of the production methods of industries in Africa, but for the moment, I'm going to work on this. So, we'll give that a few weeks to change over. Probably one more week here. So working on these universities, they'll be done pretty soon. So now, what is the local price of transport? That's the biggest thing. Alright, transport is hyper expensive in all these areas. So, we're going to queue in a couple levels of railroads. So, let me see. how do I look at local prices? Here we go. So, local demand for transport is 340. We're getting 60 from our 2 levels of railways. And those railways are using the wooden passenger carriages method. So, I'm going to need, I think... Yeah, we're going to have to increase it by about 100. Now let's see what that impact has had on the profitability of the urban center here. Oh, you know what? These are not on public trams. That's part of the issue. I'm going to set that to go right away. So we'll take another week to look at that, and then we'll see what the price of transport looks like. Alright, still expensive in Alentejo, pretty okay in Estremadura, expensive in Beira. So I think, what did I queue in here? I'm going to do 3 levels in Alentejo, 2 levels in Beira, and 1 more level in Estremadura. And that should cover the necessary costs of increasing the efficiency of those industries. So now, what does that do to our... Still not sure what this spike is. What does that do to our situation here? Happy Emancipation. Wonderful. Alright, and we've got the capacity to go up to level 5 for internal politics. So we'll go ahead and quickly do that. How is infrastructure looking for these industries? For these states? Pretty okay. Obviously, we're increasing railways a lot, but I just want to make sure that we've got the market access that we need. Now, moving ahead, let's take a quick look at our market once again and see what this is doing. Questionable practices. Released patients from the Lisbon Asylum have steadily denounced the practices involved in their supposedly medical treatments. Mistreatment of the sick, withholding of personal letters, and disproportionate punishments were among the charges. They would make us sit in a chair for hours, if not the whole day, in silence. We couldn't talk to any other patient, not even read a book. They would only exclude us to go to the bathroom if we were lucky. Otherwise, it was just a rusty chamber pot. No food, no water. If we were not sick when we were admitted, we would be within just a few weeks. Their judgment cannot be trusted. Angry trade unions. We need to entirely revise how the asylums work. Extra standard of living for the lower and middle strata in the capital for 5 years at a cost of £9,800 a week. Or the trade unions can take over the administration minus 10% bureaucracy, but they become better. Ooh, this one is tempting. Increased standard of living is really, really good. Especially in this context. Oh, interesting. The armed forces and the intelligentsia are going to... Oh, weird. The parties have gotten strange. Hold on, I'll need to look into that in a minute. But for now, trade unions are very unhappy. I think I'm going to revise how the asylums work. Okay, so... We got an election underway, and we've had a political shift. The Petit Bourgeois have left the Regenerator Party and formed into the Progressive Party, which the intelligentsia and the trade unions are going to join. Which the intelligentsia is going to join as soon as they get the opportunity to. The armed forces are going to join the Regenerators. So if we bring in the armed forces, it's going to be an unacceptable government. But if we swap... Oh, interesting. That's curious. So I'm going to leave things where they are for now, and then once the election gets underway, we'll see. Well, the election's underway now. That's why things have swapped over. Spain sides with Bali. Oh, boy. Great Britain, why do you keep going after people around the world? The only thing I can get is war goals, and I don't, strictly speaking, desire war goals. What I desire is cash money. But I'm not going to get it. I think I'm going to declare neutrality on this, because I don't want to be brought in against Spain. Well, but they're already going to be fighting Spain. But it's China, really. I'm going to declare neutrality on this. I can't afford a war at present. I'm too low on influence for this. Population continues to grow at a very solid rate. Bourgeois fears. To avert the fears of the upper class with regards to a potential Portuguese Socialist Party government, Rafael Farina has carried out a series of meetings with wealthy influencers, stressing the importance of reforms still adhering to Portuguese values. It is simply the case that if there are no reforms to Portuguese society, there will be a social revolution. I do not embrace this. In fact, I hate it like sin. But this is reality. You must see as clearly as I do. And so the question comes to this. How do we avert this? Reform against revolution? Extra momentum for the Portuguese socialists? Or try as they might, there will always be Reds. Reduced momentum for the Portuguese Socialist Party. So where's the momentum? Nobody's got momentum like the Regenerators have. And frankly, only the Historic Party are close. So I'm going to say they'll always be Reds. That's going to reduce their momentum. Portuguese Socialist Party is very, very small at this point. So I'm not really worried. I mistook the colors and thought that the pink line here was the Historic Party and the red line here is the Socialist Party. That clearly wasn't right. Whoopsie, and I cannot emphasize this enough. Doodle. Proletarian revolt in Costa Rica, with the North German Federation leaning towards the government. I'm going to be neutral on that. Don't need to worry about that situation right now. Interest is not going down. Alright, we got another Red Scare event. Members of the Regenerator Party have been vigorously warning against the Portuguese Socialist Party's electoral campaign. First, they'll take your boss's house, and you'll thank them for it. You'll see them as the promised savior and kneel before them. Then they'll take your neighbor's house, and you'll try to convince them. You'll say, but he's a good man, I know him, and it won't matter in the slightest. Then they'll take your car, and you'll think to yourself, it's fine, I don't need a car anyways. And you can guess what'll happen next? You know what'll happen next. These leftists are traitors to the nation, minus 30% momentum. This rhetoric is needlessly alarmist, minus 20% momentum. Reduced government interest group approval, that's interesting. Communist literature should be banned, minus 50% momentum. Or infiltrate the party leadership, minus 50% momentum, but reduced authority. I'm gonna go... I'm not gonna go all the way to minus 50% momentum. I don't think that's necessarily... what we need right now. I'm just gonna take the first one. I don't want to get the government interest groups salty right now because they're a little salty as it is. Standard of living is going up, mostly due to the economic reforms, I'm pretty sure. Looks like we're a little short on convoys, so let's do a little expansion of port facilities. We'll do it right here in Beira. We'll throw those in at the top. Why is there a construction efficiency penalty here? Because of pollution impact? Because of pollution impact. Interesting. We need to get better healthcare. That's what we need. We need better healthcare. But we can't get better healthcare because we don't have the necessary techs. Let me see. We're working on trench works right now. If we pop over to society and grab... Let me see. Oh god, it's antibiotics. We're not gonna get there. We're gonna have level 2 health forever. Oh, that's brutal. That's quite brutal. Oof. What a hard time. Still, that's just fine. What else do we want for tech? I think we need steel railway cars and rotary valve engine. Yeah, I think that's... No. We need open hearth process. Then pump jacks to get that tasty, tasty oil. Then steel railway cars. Then shift work. Shift work is really strong. And then vulcanization, and then aniline. No, we've got plenty of dye works. We don't need aniline. Alright, that's going to take some freaking time. But it's going to be worth it in the long run. Hey, Great Britain, you want to give me huge piles of cash in exchange for helping out with Tibesti? Speaking on speech. Today's speech from Paulo Tavares focuses on the right of assembly and the efforts of the Progressive Party to secure it. A crowd has flocked from all corners to hear it. No true discussion may be had while the law binds us to silence. How is it that we may call ourselves great and enlightened whilst we fear reprisal from the law itself? And for what? Our very words? Great and enlightened, a falsehood, I say, a lie, a travesty, a shameful display. He has a point, extra momentum for the Progressive Party. Fetch the paper and ink, there's a law to draft, extra momentum for the Progressive Party, increased pop support for right of assembly. Or those who wish to speak should know how and when first. Reduce momentum for the Progressive Party, but pops and the petit bourgeois become more radical. I'm going to go with the third one. We're deep in the regenerator party at this time, so I'm trying to keep, because they're the party that controls the landowners, and they're the ones that align with the king. What are my prospects for booting the king out of power? Landowners need to be big mad. He needs to be totally unpopular. He needs to be 75. Or we need to have an insurrectionary interest group. Alternatively, and he needs to be an adult. You can't just boot out someone for being a kid. Alright, interesting. So that will be interesting. Now, what do we have over here? This is a peasant revolt in Sentang. Alright, not gonna get involved in that. Gonna go ahead and call that neutral. We're almost up to friendly with the Ottomans. It's interesting. 2 Sicilies has actually been pretty successful at uniting Italian states. We're down to 3. Sardinia, Piedmont, 2 Sicilies, and the Papal States. So I think our chance of seeing in Italy, maybe not high before the end of the century, but high before the end of the game for sure. Alright, Russia is going after Britain. Now, Britain is already in... No, Britain's other war is finished now. Let me see. Finland is supporting. Baltic Governorates, Lehej, and Nezhid are supporting. They want Circassia and North Circassia. Alright. So I think no one else is really interested in participating in this other than Persia. And Persia, I'm not scared of you. Kind of an army you got. Mobile artillery and line infantry, I'm not scared of them. So I think I might participate in this. And grab some of those tasty Union massacration. Wonderful. Get myself some of those tasty war reparations. I think that might be the right call. Let me look at Russia's production methods for their armed forces. So Russia is still at skirmish infantry and mobile artillery, which I'm nearly off of, but not fully off of yet. But Britain should be completely off of at this point. Britain should already have trench infantry. And they do. Beautiful. So, let's see here. So what can I get? I can get a bankroll, though. So, the difference between a bankroll and war reparations is, number one, a bankroll is more. Number two, a bankroll is automatic. So, I think I'm going to ask for that. A bankroll is better to have than war reparations. Alright, Great Britain has accepted. We will go ahead and mobilize the auxiliary division of Liberia, really. We'll go ahead and mobilize the Portuguese Expeditionary Force. And we'll also go ahead and mobilize the Army of East Africa. I'm going to place these units in the Trucial States so that if there's a front with the Nezhid, I'll be able to just step in. Because... Oh no, there's not going to be. It's in Bahrain. And Bahrain is a puppet of Great Britain. That's obviously goofed up my convoy situation. So let's go ahead and I guess build up some more port facilities, since we seem to still be having a little bit of a hard time making that happen. There's reinforced concrete. That's great. That's extra throughput for our construction sectors. So that'll be just fine. Now, both these armies are still on defend. And rotary valve engine is spreading. That's wonderful. So we're going to see how things go over there. Belgium's likely to side with us. I hope they do. I don't mind Belgium. I don't mind Belgium at all. Obviously, this not having enough convoys thing is hurting my economy a bit. But hopefully I can get there by building up and not have to have a problem. This is only a few more weeks, so this shouldn't take long. Where is my fleet? They're over here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put this fleet in the Mediterranean to continue to raid Russian whatevers. Let me see, we are still on defense here. You're not on defense. You need to be on defense. And then once these ports are built up, we'll finish out what we're doing. Investment pool is still pretty full, so we can for sure leave the construction queue fallow for a little bit. Ottoman Empire is neutral. Persia's neutral, Belgium's neutral. Alright. So it doesn't look like anyone else is going to step in. No one else is going to step in. Alright, I finally got my bankroll. This is delightful. Okay, Home Affairs is increasing. Oh, right. My election happened. My election happened and I didn't even realize it. Alright, so let's just put the Regenerator Party in control. And we'll see what that does, because this number doesn't look quite right. Alright, it is at 50. At this point, I am going to drop us down to middle taxation. Let this finish out, this construction queue, and then sit back and let my economy correct itself for a bit while we focus on the war. Alright. Britain is attacking, and we are having... Oh, no, never mind. I tried to call it too soon. Russia's bringing in a bunch more troops, but we're on defense, and of course Circassia is an incredibly mountainous and heavily forested region. As you know if you watch the Russia run. Oh, interesting. Oh my goodness. The Dutch East Indies is broken up, and now it's just Java. Well, golly, what an interesting situation. That potentially means a lot of expansion opportunities in Indonesia, but we're not going to be involved in that. Interesting. The industrialists are no longer powerful. Okay, so what's the spread of power at this point? Portuguese Socialist Party, set it up by the trade unions. They're unhappy and not very happy about anything. Let me see. We've got the Progressive Party, which have the intelligentsia and the petite bourgeoisie in an unlikely alliance. And then we've got the Historic Party, which are the industrialists. And then finally, the governing party is the Regenerator Party, which consists of the Catholic Church, the armed forces, and the landowners. So I could theoretically pull in the Historic Party to get the industrialists in the government. I'm not necessarily going to do that right now, unless I have something specific that I want to do with them. Going to no colonial affairs might be nice. I could go to state religion. That would make the intelligentsia very upset. I could return to... Oh no, this is monarchy. I could return to oligarchy. Oh, no one's really pleased with that. Alright, so everyone's happy with wealth voting right now. Centrism! Hooray! Is wealth voting centrist? I'll never know. Huh, we're a little low on bureaucracy once again. Oh, you know what? Because we're still increasing our home affairs. Alright, so I mismanaged that a little bit. So, we'll throw in 3 more levels of government admins in Beira. And then where are we vis-a-vis our taxation capacity? Alentejo, we're just fine. Estremadura, we're freaking golden. So, I'm not worried about that. Communist criminality. Rules about the atrocities of communists in the French Commune have reached the Portuguese press, with reports about crimes against humanity and stacked corpses filling the front pages of newspapers. Did you hear about the bombings the other day? This time it was a lawyer, one of the big ones, advising the government. Another one? Heavens, that's the third this month. This is supposed to be a safe country. Bah! Not with these communist rats running around. They'll kill us all if we don't kneel down first. Who knew people could be so barbaric? More loyal upper stratum pops, but deteriorates relations with France. Or they ought to publish something else for once. I'm going to do the second one again. Weakening the Catholic Church isn't a problem for me. Oh no, I got can-do attitude. I don't like can-do attitude. Soldiers are complaining they have no way to open their canned food. Sure, the food's a bit better, but what's the point if we can't get at it, eh? Some lads use rocks, others knives. The only reliable thing is how bloody annoying it is to eat. Spend some money to develop a way. 6,200 government expenses isn't that much. Or they'll figure it out. Armed forces salty to the tune of -2. They're at +12, and I want to keep them there, so we're just going to have to spend the cash. It's a lot of money over time, but again, not that big of a deal right now immediately. So we got a bunch more units coming in here. We are, I think, losing battles at this stage, but not as many as you might think, given the force comparison. Our technological advantage is offering us significant differentials. Hey, stop error handling out of here. Hey, this is the main front. Don't run away. Ah, you bastards. So this numbers comparison is why the tech difference matters so much. We got this event. I am not going to read this event out loud because I think it is gross. You can read it yourself if you'd like, but I'm going to let it go. That one's too extreme, Paradox. Sorry, not about that life. All right, so we are still winning battles over here. And I am pretty pleased. We've actually even taken some territory in Tiflis. Am I getting this bankroll? Yes, I am getting this bankroll. So as you can see, this bankroll is huge. It's 20% of our GDP rather than 10% of... I think it's based on GDP. It may be based on taxation income. Ooh, large numbers of Finnish people immigrating. Wonderful. So, but it's a huge block of cash, and it's going to continue basically for 5 years, same as the other ones. But I think it actually, we are losing a large battle here, so this might be a problem. But I'm not sure it will. I just realized I never swapped my armies over to using field hospitals, which is my B. I should definitely do that. Well, you live and you learn. Oh yeah, I have an army of East Africa over here. Put them on the front, I guess. So now, where is my war support? I've suffered probably a significant number of losses here just because my population is so very low. Yeah, I am lower than the others. Oh, but they've thrown a Humiliate CB in for me, so I'm actually able to continue to hold out as long as I like. Interesting, because they haven't taken any of my core territory yet. So this is actually pretty okay. I'm going to be in this war a long time, but it's going to be fine. Ooh, and there is a revolt happening in Finland, and that means Russia has moved a lot of its armies off of the front to deal with that. Probably more than it needs, if I'm going to be really honest, but look at that number. Najid is in default, that's fine. Peasant revolts in Uruguay. United States is leaning towards the government. I'm gonna be neutral on this. Let me see. Alright, we're actually way over time. So I'm probably gonna end this at the middle of the year. Rhineland got broken off somehow. That's interesting. North German Federation must have lost a war. This might have been a long time ago now that I'm thinking about it, but we'll see. Force comparison here is actually looking a little better all of a sudden. So I'm going to put my units on advance for the moment. And we'll see if that continues. Let's see if these are victories. It's looking like a lot of them are. So that's pretty solid. I'm feeling pretty happy about that. Yeah, and so Russia, of course, is putting more units back on these fronts. Russia is actually losing a lot of war support. Do they have war support protection? They do, because we don't hold any of their core territory. Once we hold some core territory, I think a Humiliate CB will be viable. But until that happens, we are just going to continue to... they're going to continue to have war support protection. With that having been said, we've hit the middle of the year, so it is time to put a pin in it. My nerds, I've had fun. I hope you've had fun, and I'll see you on the other side.